Okay, we're taking a little trip down memory lane here, and we're going to look at the game Friedland, which is Clash of Eagles Friedland, and appeared in Strategy and Tactics Magazine number 195. And this came out in 1999. So we're looking at a game here that's, 14, 15 years old. Now, the magazine came with two games, Borodino and Friedland. Borodino is on the flip side of the map, and of course Friedland here is on the front. But we'll be looking just at Friedland. Now they share a common set of rules, and you could more or less say it's the Napoleon at War system, only beefed up a bit, a little bit more advanced, but it's still a very simple game. And what you have before you is sort of the game as I'm playing through it at around 11 o'clock on the first day. And the Russians are here in green, of course, and the French here in blue. And the French Corps, the 8th Corps, is having a rough time of it. Now, I'm not going to go through the game itself. Just want to tell you a little bit about the game and give you an idea what the game is all about. So we'll look at the board first and then the counters. Okay, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Battle of Friedland, this took place in what was then East Prussia. And the town of Friedland is here. And this is the River Al. Now, the Russians came from the east, moved to the west side of the Al, and deployed to the west. And the French came in from the west on mainly these two roads. Now, the army was under General Bennigsen, and the idea was to catch Lannes' corps all by itself here and destroy it. As it turned out, it didn't happen that way. The Russians deployed to the west, did do some limited attacks. Napoleon marshaled his forces and eventually attacked very late in the day, I might add. In game terms, this is more like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So Napoleon sort of attacked in this area here, and in like 4 or 5 turns, more or less destroyed the Russian army by pushing it against the Al and just almost wiping it off the map. So it was a great decisive victory for the French, which kind of erased the exchange battle that Napoleon had fought with Bennigsen the year before at Eylau. But that's the overall map. You can see it's quite simple. I've studied the terrain around Friedland, and it's actually quite flat. Some of these hills are not really that high, but for game purposes they make good defensive positions. Let's take a look at the counters a little bit closer. Now the counters to the game are very simple but completely functional. The usual stuff we're all used to. Combat number on the left, in this case a 2, and movement factor on the right, in this case a 6, and that's horse artillery, of course, and cavalry, 4-7, 2-6, and some more cavalry here on the left, yeah. The corps are categorized by color, which makes sortation very nice, and with the use of the command rules makes rallying a lot easier too. So you've got here some orange for a certain corps, gray for Doktorov's corps. The French have the same thing. Here's General Lannes, or Commander Lannes. That's his command value, and that's his movement. When a corps becomes demoralized, you take the leader and flip him to his other side, and this is an indication then that the entire corps is demoralized. So that's how that works. Now, over here on the kind of the reorganization chart, you would put your losses on this chart, and you'd put units that are able to be reorganized here, and you'd put units that are completely destroyed over on the destroyed unit compartment. Each corps has a demoralization level, and when that level is reached, the corps is demoralized. The effects of demoralization are mainly very increased movement costs, which makes the corps very difficult to move. The designer has got some neat little bridge rules here where you can make bridges to cross the Mulin stream, and in the game I'm playing I've created 3 of them here to facilitate communications between the right and left flanks. And there's good old General Bennington there in white. And you've got the Reserve Corps here, or the Imperial Guard rather, and more of the Russian right wing over there. In my game here, that's the French 8th Corps under Mortier, and right now it just got demoralized, so it's in a bad way. So the combat system is the one we've gotten to be very used to, the old Napoleon at War system, a basic advance and retreat table. You guys might remember that combat results table, very simple, mainly retreats and advances and exchanges thrown in. The terrain effects chart, nothing too fancy about that. Half movement point on a road, 1 movement to enter town, and so on. So veterans, veteran war gamers will be able to learn this game in like 10 minutes. You just have to skim through the rules, read the exclusive rules for the scenario. Not much more to say about the game. I've only really run through sort of half a game right now, and I'm really enjoying it. It does seem like the Battle of Friedland. It's very well done. I'm sure Borodino probably will be the same. And while I've got the video running, I might as well show you the Borodino counters too. That's a little preview of what they look like. Standard counters, again color-coded. And you get this little half sheet here too of more counters. So I'm sure Borodino plays out very well too. Show you the order of appearance table and the turn record. The battle starts on June 14th, 1807 at 4 o'clock in the morning and proceeds along during the day, with the French arriving all during the day. So you can see the bulk of the French army arrives throughout the day, and in fact arrives fairly late. And as I mentioned, Napoleon historically attacked very late in the day and got a complete and decisive victory. So victory is really decided by losses and demoralizing enemy corps. The Russians can win by taking and holding this town of Posthen, there, if I've said that right, and Heinrichdorf. So to get a complete victory, the designer has made it so that the Russians will want to stay west of the Al. Now, I haven't explored the possibilities of what happens if the Russians just completely retreat. I think at best then they can get just a marginal victory. And I haven't really explored that yet. Now in the magazine you get your standard article covering Friedland and Borodino. And you got some nice colorful maps too. So I don't know, it's a good little game. I'm going to stick with it here and just see how it plays out. This is just going to be a short video because there's not a lot you can say about the Napoleon at War system. Most of the war gamers should be watching this video or quite familiar with it. Can I recommend it? Yeah, I can recommend this game definitely. So yeah, that's it for Friedland. Thank you for watching.